I wanted to talk about people who are complaining about always since the beginning of time, probably more so since the emergence of all the social media, but all the people who complain about elitism, gatekeeping, and metalheads in general being toxic pieces of shit and not politically correct at all, and just how the music is vile and sounds like shit, which it does not. I mean, there's very few bands that sound like shit and you can't distinct what they're playing. And if you can't, your ears haven't developed for it. Like, that's just plain and simple, you know? Music is deeper than just, oh, I heard it once and I didn't get it. You know, it's like, that's not how a lot of metal works. Like, you build up to it, you know? But people don't want to do this. You don't put time and money into this stuff just because you want to. I mean, just because you have to or something. It's like you love it, you know, and you're gonna put money into it. You're gonna put time into it. You're gonna put passion into it, whether or not anybody's watching or listening. You're gonna be on it. You're gonna be in the metal. You know, you're bleeding metal. It's like for a lot of people, it's almost like a religious thing, you know? And so I just think that's just silly, you know, to call people elitists because they know metal so well. And there's always going to be douchebags in every single community, every single scene. But you can't just throw that label around every time you don't like someone's, you know, what they have to say. I mean, you can, but you kind of look stupid. Um, so that, and then gatekeeping, honestly, my thoughts on gatekeeping are kind of like it's honestly a little bit of a good thing because it's just like if you didn't have any of it, every single style of music would be too bloated. And I like music outside of metal. I don't have a problem with music outside of metal. My issue is things they might have a little influence from metal, some parts, but that does not make them a metal band. You can't scream and play chugga chugga riffs and then do a bunch of like poppy Imagine Dragons singing and then call that metal. I'm sorry. Like that doesn't qualify you put it. But that's how I think about that. And then as far as the political correctness and being offended by bands and stuff, I'm gonna just be blunt with you. Who gives a fuck, honestly? Bands can do whatever they want. And if they couldn't, that would really suck. Because metal is one of the only areas that hasn't been affected so terribly much by being drained of life and substance and trying to appeal to masses of people and people please every fucking person that has anything to complain about. So, with that said, yeah, I don't give a fuck what a band says or what they do. If the music's good, I'm listening to it. And I agree, you know, if you don't like something, don't support it. I know there's a lot of black metal that is like super politically incorrect, and you have a lot of death metal bands that people say are misogynist, but you know, it's just lyrical content, horrible shit, but it goes with the music and it's supposed to be horrendous and ugly and nasty. And then there's a lot of metal bands that don't do any of this lyrical stuff. So if you don't like it, you don't got to listen to it, but don't complain about it existing because that's how it's always been. And it's weird that I have to say this. And like with like a real band, like people think real metal is like they'll use this as an example. Like they'll say, "Oh, you know, you're only into real metal if you like stuff that sounds like shit, and you're listening to stuff that was made in a trash compactor." Like that's what people think. People like me or a lot of probably you watching think is what metal should be. You know, they'll listen to like a band like something so entry level in death metal and they'll relate it to being a fucking like horrible recording in a dumpster. It's like, dude, stop coming in that scene, especially when you're talking to people that are in the underground and telling them how to change it. It's like metal was here before a lot of us, including me, were born. And you're telling people that are from the old guard to change that. Like, no, you don't do that. Like, those are the people that you should be listening to advice from, you know? And in metal, it goes the same way. Respect for your fucking elders, man. Like, bands that came before you, put some respect on them, man. Like, it's a whole nother topic, dude. I'm just gonna start ranting because it goes into stuff like, for example, like when people shit talk a band like Venom and stuff, it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, Venom is the reason so many of us are even fucking in the scene. You know, they took out so many bands that no other bands would take out and stuff. And like, just a lot of old metal bands get thrown in this camp where it's like, oh, it's corny, it's overdone. It's like, dude, they're legends. Like, respect that, you know. But it's kind of a little bit off topic for today. But I just felt like saying that. But yeah, that whole recording thing is like, there's very few bands that actually do sound like that. And I know it's an exaggeration when people say that. But it's like, do you even listen to shit? Like, there's thousands of bands that sound really, really fucking good, and it's obvious. And even like gore grind, it's like people are like, oh, the only way you could be a true metalhead is if you listen to gore grind and war metal and stuff, if they even know that term, by the way. And you're just like, well, even if you do, a lot of the shit sounds fucking good. Like I said before, clean out your ears. Like the most popular fucking gore grind bands, it's like, dude, those bands sound fucking great and they're catchy as fuck. Like, what are you talking about? That's just noise in a trash can. Like, they get offended when they don't have their way, you know? And when you say anything about like, oh, well, you know, a band like Sleep Token is not really metal, which no, the fuck it isn't. Sorry, not sorry. But like, they'll come at you and you critique it, you know, and you say you don't like something nowadays, and it's just like, and you're just a hater, and it's like, okay, so criticism's dead. Like, you can't critique anything, because I see that a lot. It's like people are just calling people haters, and you're like, oh, it's just criticism, man. Like, they were being polite about it even. They're not even being a dick about it. They're just saying their opinion. So